Hey to my people out there, what you doing? I am so excited that you are here hanging out with me today. I am Suzette Speaks, and you are watching the Suzette Speaks show. I am excited about today's topic. You guys know I like to bring you nice and juicy topics that hopefully fill the soul, fill the spirit, and help you grow and evolve. If you've never watched the Suzette Speaks show, I want to welcome you. If you're watching on our sister platforms, welcome to our co-hosts, Jamaicans.com. Welcome to those watching on Facebook as well. And of course, to my people who are watching on YouTube, what's up, fam? Please drop a comment. Let me know you're watching. We have an exciting guest today. You guys loved her so much when she was on the first time. I was like, yo, we have to bring her back. None other than Dr. Tasha Russell, Doctor of Clinical Psychology. She works all around South Florida, counseling folks, counseling families, helping people repair their spirit, their lives, get new tools for how to interact in relationships. So I thought she would be perfect for this type of heavy lifting today. Y'all ready? Y'all drop some comments. Let me know you're watching. I'm excited to talk about marriage. And would you marry you? Y'all are not ready for this topic right now, y'all. I'm so warmed up. We've had some interesting discussions the last few shows. If you don't know what I'm talking about, go back on YouTube, go to the Suzette Speaks show. You could do a quick look up and check out some of the phenomenal shows. Y'all know it's like my favorite word that I've had the pleasure of being a part of. We had God Found My Husband 2 days ago with none other than Dr. Therese McFarland. That was an incredible story. The day before, we had God Found My Wife with none other than my super subscriber, Lynx. He told us his story. We've had, Love for Ambitious Women as a wonderful stream with Cassandra McDonald. We've had so many discussions around relationships, and I see that y'all liking it, that I'm going to keep dipping into that pool because I think there's some work being done here. I think people are taking notes and hopefully growing and maybe seeing themselves and others through a different lens. So that's what we do here. For those who may not know me, again, I'm Suzette Speaks. I'm a TV host and attorney from South Florida. I come on these YouTube streets to hopefully empower and uplift. That's the goal. We're here to... they talking about here. We're here to get married. Let's get married, yo. Let's do it. They already in the chat, y'all. Drop a comment. Let me know what's going on. Yes, it's about that time. Many of us, like myself as a professional woman, I've spent a lot of time on my career. I've spent a lot of time helping others. I've spent a lot of time in community organizations. And many people have now brought to my attention through YouTube how much their story is like mine, how they thought marriage would happen, how they thought, what their parents and their grandparents taught them would be in full effect, which is biblical, which is that a man findeth a woman. Somebody drop a comment if they know what I'm talking about. But for some of us, and I'm talking specifically for women of color and Black women in specific, there are so many of us who went through college, even got a secondary degree, did what we thought we were supposed to do, got out there, started working, making money. And then you look up and you still are single. And there's so many questions around that. I just went to a birthday lunch I planned for my aunt with my mom and all my aunts and cousins were there. And yeah, they stopped the table and they were like, well, Sue, why are you single? Listen, if you've ever gotten that question and you had to sit in front of grown women who love you and asking you about your personal life all of a sudden, because they wasn't asking too much before, but they asking now. Somebody, hello, drop some comments if you know what I'm talking about. Hit that like button if you know what I'm talking about. Thumbs up, please. I had, several different answers for them. One including like, I really don't know. I'm here. I'm doing what I thought I'm supposed to do. I feel my call and my purpose being fulfilled in life. I'm moving in a way that I think is valuable, not only to myself, but to another person, another human being. I operate with integrity. I keep myself hopefully up. I don't know if y'all would agree. Because they told me looks was important, Dr. Tasha. They told me size matters, Dr. Tasha. They told me we got to be a certain look, to get the significant other. That's what they told me, Dr. Tasha. Hello, somebody. And in doing all that, and hopefully still, maintaining a sense of what should I say? Openness Not only am I content and satisfied with what I've been doing, but I'm also open, and I don't know if you guys are, and if you met people that say they're open to bringing somebody else in their life, and then you look at their life and you're like, wait, is there room? Or would a person perceive there is enough room for them to come in? Y'all better drop some comments and let me know you're watching. I am excited. You guys know relationships has been kind of like an area where I felt thrust into the conversation, but it's important and it's good. I think some of this has been really helpful. And it's going to help some people. And I see those of you who heard about wife school the last stream, who going to wife school with me? Let's go. Dr. Teresa McFarland was holding wife school. She said once a year. I was like, okay, where they sign up for that? We have wife school invitations. She is obviously a fantastic, not only minister of the gospel, but she and I will be rapping tomorrow as well for her book launch. Check out that stream, God Found My Husband. There were so many beautiful nuggets in that. But y'all, get these likes up. Before I bring Dr. Tasha on, you know we have to say hello. I'm going to check out the chat. I want to welcome you. I see so many people have just joined. I got a little reflection here in my background. I do not know how to get rid of that. But the sun is shining. I think that's a praise. The sun is shining. And we're out here trying to do some work and uplift, empower, and hopefully let the people understand themselves and others better, particularly today in the framework of relationships and marriage. Because I have the expert. She's a woman that found love in her 30s, got married after 35, has married someone who is a divorcee, has children, stepchildren. She has seen the gamut, and she also counsels people who are going through these different stages. So what does it take to get together? What does it take to be ready? Are you truly ready? Y'all think y'all ready, but are you truly ready for that significant other? Are you trying to be ready? Did other people tell you you was ready, or you told yourself you was you tell yourself you was ready? Who's ready? Y'all let me know who's ready. Just throw it in the chat. I'm ready. Somebody say I'm ready. For those of you who are on the other side of the marriage journey, maybe you've already experienced a lot of this. Maybe you've learned some lessons. We want you to be a part of the conversation today and helping everyone grow and helping us understand the other side, not be in our own echo chamber and our own girlfriends, our own homeboys telling us how the game go. Y'all hang around the same people too much. Y'all don't know what's going on the other side. So we want to open the door. This is ladies chat, but I know a lot of gentlemen are in the chat already. Drop a comment. Where are my Jamaicans at? Jamaicans.com. I see you. If you're watching on Facebook, I see you. Drop a comment. Let me know. We about to get started. Dr. Tasha is patiently waiting in the wings, and I trust that she also, with her expertise and having counseled hundreds, probably thousands of people, having seen what makes relationships tick and what helps unravel them, sadly. We're going to tap into her as an expert. We're going to tap into her and understanding, where we as human beings need to, be open to learn. Baby, we don't know everything. I know you got your 3 degrees. Stop. Okay, hit the like button. Hit the like. Sue getting ready for a wonderful conversation. Again, it's your girl, Suzette Speaks. Thank you guys for hitting the like, hitting the subscribe button. We are monetized as well. So if you want to drop some love in the Cash App, why not? Why not? Appreciate those who've already been showing their support. We try to get a little background going. I want one of them Roadmasters. I probably need a mic too. So I need some of everything. So I appreciate you. If you want to drop a super chat, I'd be happy to receive that. Thank you. Thank you guys on YouTube for your support. All right. So y'all ready for this conversation? Would you marry you? Would you really marry you? Did anybody else tell you that somebody would snatch you up? I'm not talking about what you only say. Who else say that you are a good catch, baby? Ooh, somebody gonna snatch you up. Did anybody ever tell you that in your life? Or did people actually tell you, you got some work to do? What are they telling you? What are they telling you? I don't know. Sometimes we are in our own minds the best that we could be. And, we don't like to listen. We don't like to hear from nobody else. Y'all ready for Dr. Tasha? Without further ado, hold on. Before I bring my girl on, let me just read the chat real quick and see who's on and who is already let me know what they think. Are y'all ready? Thank you, RM. Okay, you ready? Ring first. That's what you said. Okay, I see you, Doug. Welcome. Hey, Rose. Thank you for watching. Hey, Kim. Nice to have you. Ayo already told me it's time. It's time. Some of us think it's past time. Some of us are being told we ain't got no hope. Y'all done got all these degrees. Don't nobody want nobody with no degrees. That's what they told me. Oh my God, what a waste. That's what I was told. Why? My goodness. Good morning, Norma. Hailing from Jamaica via Houston. The topic grabbed my, okay, you ready, darling? We know we're going to get into the little sizzle today, as we say. Good morning, Mars Mitch. I see you. Odette Tasha. Wife school. Wife school. Let's go. Wife school. Let's go. Good morning, Mary. I see you. Miss B Finesse. Thank you again for that wonderful interview. Check out her channel. Miss B Finesse had me on last, I think it was Thursday. We had a wonderful conversation, got to know me a little bit better. Thank you for opening up your platform to me, my darling. And I hope you hit that 500 subscriber mark. I'm going back to look. Y'all check out this wonderful creator's channel. What's up, Sunbreeze? Bay Area in the building. Callie, I see you. I love it. Oh, hold on. Christopher say, I would date me. Okay. This is the confidence for me. Let's go. Let's go. Put your location in the chat, please. Say A to that. I love it. You have to find the white knight. Okay. Blue Range RX11. I hear you. Thank you. Suzette, you definitely have to. Oh, well, I appreciate it, Doug. You're so sweet. Thank you. I'll be trying because they told me to get it up. It's the oh, you love the eyes. Thank you, Mars. Okay, I see you guys. So we have a beautiful guest coming. Dr. Tasha, Doctor of Clinical Psychology, founder of the Drive-By Therapy. I will drop all her links in the description. So if you're in South Florida, and I don't know if she does virtual stuff too, we'll ask her. But she is all over, and she has met people from all walks of life, looking to be married, looking to get divorced, looking to stay married, all of it. So we're going to ask her her professional opinion and where she is seeing some trends. Obviously, if you guys need to speak to someone specifically, go see a therapist. You know, we are here for informational purposes only. So if you really feel like you may have issues and there's so much, you know, you don't understand why you keep breaking up with people or people keep breaking up with you, or we have patterns that we don't understand, we're going to talk about that right now. We're going to talk about it. I'm not going to get too deep. Hey, good morning, the official urban therapist. All right, we got a company that can help us, and I want you guys to drop your opinions in the chat. Let me know. How is your chest so clear? Did you have chickenpox? You know what, Chris? I did have chickenpox, but thankfully I didn't get no marks on my thing. Y'all so observant. Thank you very much. Yes, we are ready. I think I am ready. I think I'm getting ready. Mars, to answer the question for myself, I think I'm more ready than I have been in my past. And we're going to talk about that. I don't want to get too deep before I get Dr. Tasha on. Am I truly ready? I don't know, says Sunbreeze. That's okay not to know too. What up, Master Lion Tamer? Help me out. Suzette Speaks, a.k.a. The Law Oprah, a.k.a. TLA Stedman. You know what? You know what? Y'all so funny already. All right, so without further ado, sure, I'd marry me, say Norma. Thank you. I got figs, pigs, hogs, dogs, tomatoes. Y'all, is that what's good, Greg O? I see you. Modesto, California in the building. Thank you. Lovers of animals. I see you. Marshawn Wagwan, how are you? Who's getting married, says Greg O. I would definitely marry me, says the official urban therapist. All right. L.O in the chat. Thank you for being here. I want to see you on YouTube. If you guys don't know, I have a channel. So if you're watching on other platforms, definitely come over. Check us out on YouTube. Yes. Hello, everybody. Okay. At work, Bruno. That's okay. Come back and watch it later. All right. So without further ado, I have a special guest here. We got to get her on. She's going to introduce herself first, and then we're going to jump right in. Are y'all ready? Get them likes up, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Without further ado, with my sister here again. You guys loved her, so she's back. That stream she did, Don't Ask Me Why I'm Single. Go back and watch it. That's like almost like a prequel to this. Go back and watch it. Don't Ask Me Why I'm Single. Go back and watch it. Over, I think, 5,500 views right now. But if you didn't catch that with Dr. Tasha, you missed a treat. So here she is again to bless this stream. Thank you so much for being here. Y'all give a warm Suzette Speaks show welcome to none other than the one, the only Dr. Tasha.
Okay. It's happening. Okay. Cheese in there. Okay.
The Roadmaster, so I can make the noise.
Yes, I loved it. That was the sound effect.
I love it. I got to do it. I got to get a gun salute. But welcome. How are you?
Oh, thank you for having me. You know what? It is a good day today. So far, so good.
I'm so excited. I'm grateful that you had the time. This woman is a busy woman. She does so much. So without further ado, please introduce yourself for people who are seeing you for the first time, and welcome again.
Well, my name is Dr. Tasha, Dr. Latasha Russell Harris. I am a doctor of clinical psychology. My brand is called Drive-By Therapy. I just wrote a book about a year ago. It's called It Ain't the Dishes, which has to do with how couples need to learn how to effectively communicate. Sometimes how we argue over the dishes, but it ain't got nothing to do with the dishes, with what, the actual subject is that we're arguing about. So that's one. I also do grief work, family interventions, addiction. A lot of singles do come to my couch and figure out what they can change or maintain that they need to change after they change, to then maintain, to actually find whatever that is that they're attracted to, or change their attraction because the patterns from the past have not worked. And so I look forward to this conversation and talking to your YouTube audience.
Yay.
So thanks for having me, Miss Suzette.
Absolutely. So we have a lot in common. Dr. Tasha and I have done quite a couple of interviews, a couple now for YouTube, but before we were rocking doing Facebook Lives, y'all.
Oh, yeah.
So she has been a part of the South Florida community for a good while. And I know so many people, and we've all kind of been growing thanks to platforms that you've had. Tell us about your live show. I know you have live shows that are
I love
quite
that.
informative, and I just want to make sure people know about them in case they want to join you.
Oh, thank you. It's with Chris Priester. He's a comedian. Basically, it's me and him on the stage. It's live actually in South Florida, but we do YouTube it. So it's on that channel, the Drive-By Therapy with Dr. Tasha. And so, yeah, come on out. If you're ever in South Florida, it's every first Thursday from 8 to 10 p.m. And our next one is actually, is Will and Jada, your relationship goals?
Ooh, we're gonna tie some of that in. Is Will and Jada?
Oh yes, our Will and Jada
relationship goals. That's a whole nother stream, but I love the topic. So check her out, drivebytherapy.org. So Dr. Tasha, when you heard and we kind of brainstormed this, we landed on this, you guys. We were kind of talking back and forth was when we were prepping for this particular show, and we was like, yeah, let's talk about ourselves getting prepared for marriage. Yes. Because I think the wedding is so beautiful, y'all, and we are always planning for the beautiful ceremony and all that, but the work starts after the ceremony. And oftentimes if we don't have the tools and we haven't been prepared, we are not ready to do what must be done to maintain a relationship. So Dr. Tasha, what are some of the first steps people should focus on when it comes to preparing to be with someone else? I think a lot of times, we think, again, externally, and we don't necessarily think internally when we talk about, being ready to date or being ready to find a mate. So talk about that, please, Doc. Where should we begin in our mental preparation, our spiritual preparation? I know it's a lot, but where do you think we should start?
I'm in it, and I'm like, did I really sign up for this? Did I sign up for this? Lord have mercy. So number one, if you want to see if you would be good at being a married spouse, ask yourself, how well do you forgive? That's number one. How well do you forgive? Do you forgive? Are you, some people like forgive as their default. Like it's okay. And then there's folks like me, grudge holder times 1,000. And I'm like, what happened? We just gonna forgive that so you can do it again? No. How about no? We're not going to forgive. That's not my first initial thought, is how to forgive you. However, that's the only way this thing works. You have to almost forgive daily. Question, do you know how? You know what I mean? And then the crazy thing is you're forgiving them and you're forgiving you for you being out of pocket as well. And then you go on to the next day. That's just Thursday. Then there's Friday's forgiveness. And then there's Saturday's forgiveness. So that's number one. Learn how to forgive quickly. Mm-hmm. Learn how to forgive quickly. And then the second one, I would actually say learning not to take things personal. And that almost goes with even parenting. I do not have my own biological children, but this stepmommy thing going on right now, it's real. It's real. One thing about parenting, it will teach you and your spouse about how you guys were either both raised the same or raised hella different. Mm-hmm. The kids bring that all out. And when you marry into a ready-made family, which is what I did. I have a 13-year-old and a 4-year-old that I married to, marrying their father. And so I'm like, oh, okay, so we don't think the same at all when it comes to chores, structure, discipline, like that's a real thing. You need to figure, do we really talk about that in dating? No, that's a no. We don't. We don't talk about that while dating. We don't talk about sometimes money, but that's not our issue really, because we both spend money the same and we know how to save. But things like that, like are you ashamed of how much you make? Or do you not want anybody to know how much is really in your bank account? Do you have like a 750 credit score, or is it looking like 550? Like, will you talk about that? So is there even shame in your game? So that's another question. Like, how well do you communicate the very things that are in your life that you may be either guilty for or carrying a little bit of shame? So that alone. So don't take things personal, learning how to forgive, and then learning how to communicate. So that, just that right there. That's the question of how well, if you can check those three off, then, hey, we need to find that matchmaker, and we need to get you with the boo. Like, just like that. Those three things are hard.
I love it, because people, I think, overestimate sometimes how well they do those things. And I think sometimes we are
idealizing yourself.
Yeah. The self-awareness of people, or lack thereof, sometimes really shocks me, because I can, and I want to know myself too, and really understand how I come across and how I'm not, or maybe as good as I think I am at some of those things. So are y'all ready? Yeah. Can you say that you are ready to forgive? Hello, somebody, on a Monday, on a Tuesday, on a Wednesday,
every day. I wasn't.
Are you ready? Mm-hmm. Yes. It's I don't think people realize how the day-to-day in someone else's home or space, or I wouldn't say someone else's, I would say in your bed, in your home together, in the car rides, how easily it can be to offend one another if we're not careful. So understanding that forgiveness plays a role. I love it. Don't take things too personally. Y'all be holding them grudges. Y'all
what? You feel justified. I feel justified.
He didn't call back. I called him twice. He left me on red. Hello, somebody. There is definitely.
Don't even get me started with the blocking. Are you serious? Like, no, it doesn't work like that when you're salty. It doesn't work like that. People we got to get better at forgiving.
Yeah, and thinking the best of the other person.
That's a good one. Knowing that they have your best interest at heart.
Yes. That is a good one. And thinking that, giving them the benefit of the doubt before you're like ready to pop off, right? So I think sometimes, ladies, I don't know if it's just me, when you see behavior, sometimes because of past, and we're going to get to the past soon, Doc, the past sometimes controlling our mind and making us believe, oh, he's doing that because of this, because that's what we saw in the past. But instead, we have to try to program our mind or reprogram our minds to say, well, let's think of this through a positive lens. Maybe he was doing this to be helpful, or she was doing this to be helpful.
Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one. I can use my own situation with that.
Go ahead.
He says, y'all listen to this. Okay, y'all listen to this. I have to put myself on your couch. He says that he ignores me at times because he's pulling together his words because he doesn't want to say anything that he doesn't mean or can't take back.
Oh,
I'm like, excuse me? First of all, I don't like to be ignored. But in his way, this is his anger management. Can you imagine that?
Yeah, no.
This is the way that he deals when he's upset. Yeah. For him to pull it together, quiet himself, maybe change rooms, and then come back. And I'm like, what? And you're doing this for me?
Yeah.
Sir.
Yes.
That's
you mad. You mad.
You mad. And it's
it off. You like, where you going though? I wasn't done though. I need to tell you what I'm
feeling. You coming back though? I'm not done. You know what I'm saying?
And he instead is like, let me calm down and get my words together.
Let me calm down. And it's a real thing. So I have to respect how he manages his anger. And he also has to respect that, oh wow, she needs to hear like, I'll be back in an hour, Tosh, or give me like 30 minutes, Tosh, or I'm not leaving. I'll be right back. Like just that level of
No disrespect. I love you, but I must step away from
you.
And it's okay. And I'm not trying to like, minimize you or
at all
hurt you. But sometimes we read that into it.
Of course, it's personal. Then I'm taking it personal.
Yeah, you mad. And you, oh my gosh, ladies, we so good at storing up the mads until we get to the big mad and then let out all the little mads.
Oh, all of them. And they're going to come all out. Roll.
We've been holding those little mads add up. Those little mads add up, and we be like, "Oh, now you want to make me big mad? I'm gonna list out everything."
Big mad, I love it. I have never heard that. I love that.
No, that's LeBron. You big mad, huh?
That's a real thing.
when we don't know how to process offense, when we don't know how to process offense, and how, as she said, to communicate that, babe, I need some time. I can't step into an argument with you right now because I'm not going to show my best self, or I'm going to say stuff that I probably will regret. So let me figure out what I want to say so I can come
Got
to
it.
you properly
Yep.
and
It's
in
true.
love, so that we can resolve what is going to inevitably happen in every relationship, which is a disagreement. So if we
Oh,
don't
it's
have
gonna
those
happen.
tools, y'all, forgiveness, hello somebody, what's the chat saying? Don't take it personal. And communication, you not ready to be married. Help
Yeah,
me, oh
it's
God.
bad.
I'm talking to me too. Help me, oh God, because it's going to take, as Dr. Tasha talks about, every single day practicing these things off rip.
No, I
Right?
now literally realize why I wasn't married at 30. Like I wouldn't have done this well. I wouldn't have done this well at all.
Expand a little bit more. Expand a little bit more, because a lot of
Like
people
my
say
self-reflection.
they ready.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
feel like I was self-reflective at 30, but I wasn't forgiving at 30. I really wasn't
Mm.
forgiving. So I would make sense of why I'm upset. And so I wouldn't have done this well. I just wouldn't have. And so this is no joke. It's like a whole thing when people say like it takes work. It's like it takes work because your skin hurts when you want to go off and you can't. Your skin hurts when you may have to take care of the household when you just want some loving. You know what I mean? Like your skin hurts. Like you're just like, really? I got to worry about these. Yeah. You got to take care of business sometimes before all that passion, you know what I mean? Which is always lovely, but there's like real life going on. There's real kids
Exactly.
going on, and you may not want to spend time with them all the time.
And especially as we get more mature in our walk and we're used to being on our own. That's another
Exactly.
thing I wanted to talk about, Doc. If you had to make some major adjustments in that way, say post, say 30, we have been on our own a long, quote unquote, time, independent, if you will. And I don't mean the INDEMP, that kind of independent. I just
No.
mean pay your own bills, do what you have to do. And there's a sense of, I don't want to say solitude or just being in your own patterns, that when you get with someone, you might have to adjust. And I had a wonderful conversation. Go back and watch God Found My Husband with Dr. Therese McFarland, when she talked about how much, and y'all drop a comment if that conversation impacted you the way it impacted me. It's the last video on my YouTube channel. She talked about how much, she said, you know what she said, Dr. Tasha, she said, I was not a wife until 15 years into the marriage. Now I said, wait a minute, how you gonna be
Oh, that's
a wife?
deep.
Wait, and she
What you was
said
doing?
it was so good. She said she was always trying to push her husband to conform into what her father was. And I
Oh,
thought that
trying
was
to
one of
change
the
your man,
deepest
Lord.
revelations through that stream that we got. That, goodness gracious, how many of us say we're looking for a mate, say we want, someone to come in, bless and enhance our lives. We enhance their lives and we live happily ever after, all that. And then we try to change them.
Which is really the should. So those are the silent expectations that everybody has. All these shoulds. You should be doing this. I should be doing this as a wife. He should be doing this as a husband. Yeah. Those shoulds are so silent that even at the altar, you're hoping that this magical moment when you say I do makes these shoulds happen. So then you have to communicate them, which is probably before the I do, but it happens after the I do. So 15 years is a long time to actually be trying to be a wife. But I love that she was honest. I wonder what he would say. How long it took him to be a husband?
Yeah, that's what I said. I said he is a good man. He really loved you if you didn't leave before then. Because she said he packed up his bags and went to the guest room. And he was like, I'm through with you. I say that man loved you because he didn't go out the door, but he was fed up.
But see, that's deep. That is so. There's something I wanted to talk about, like how we deal with conflict. So it's unfortunate that it took him to be able to do that. If you think about it, like some people deal with conflict, like when you whisper and it's like, "Babe, I'm really upset," and you're like, "Oh my God, what happened?" And then you don't. And then those who are stubborn, they don't hear that. And then some people need a whole person to leave your whole bedroom for you to finally get it. That's your issue. That's literally, it takes all of that for you to get that it's time to change. I'm not talking literally about the lady who so nicely described it, but that's something that you also want to explore in terms of relationships. Why does it take all of this for you to finally get it? So how exhausted are you making your spouse or your partner to get you? You know what I'm saying? Or for you to get them. And like, that's deep, but that comes with how you normalized or how you grew up and thought that like conflict sometimes was just to be salty, and then sometimes conflict was to resolve something. So for her, when he left, it was then time to resolve it, when the whole time would have been time to resolve it. So the question is, where's your threshold, and why sometimes do you push your partner over the edge before you finally get it? That's you. That's a you thing. That's not them. That's you.
And I think, again, it goes back to that self-awareness. She said she had finally got, when he said he was leaving, and finally, because like you said, they've been had conflict.
Oh,
they were supposed to be working on it daily. They were supposed to be working on it weekly, monthly, yearly. And she was in one-track mind in that situation. And then, again, the tables could be turned. Like, I'm just using.
Oh, I'm sure he did his stuff too. But she might have been so self-absorbed that she didn't see him at all.
She said she finally prayed that night, God, is it me? And we was like, bing, bing, bing. But how many people? And that's why I was like, we need to have this conversation. It follows so nicely that is it you in a way, whether you're single, whether you're looking, whether you're not looking, whether you're married, whether you're divorced, is it you? And what can you be doing in terms of self-elevation, self-improvement, recreation of an open heart, so that you are not stepping into someone's life and really being almost their oppressor for 15 years, making them feel small, making them feel inadequate, taking them for all of those things. I thought, wow, just as you said, what was her husband? Not that he was all perfect.
Yeah, he wasn't.
But I kept thinking to myself, what was he enduring? Some of us feel like life and marriage is to be endured. It is not meant to be endured. We're supposed to have a level of peace, a level of enjoyment of each other.
Flourishing, absolutely.
Yes. And I was just like, this man, and it sounds like they're flourishing now, and go back and watch it because there's so much more to the story. But I thought to it, like, gosh, how many people really think they're the bomb.com, and they are looking at the other person as the problem? And then she had to realize, oh my gosh, I really was making this huge mistake in trying to recreate my parental dynamic, which in her house was her mom made all the major decisions. Her dad was the more passive. He did his role. He took care of the outside of the house, as she said.
He didn't confront
inside the house, I asked her why, and she said just in her family dynamic, it was probably that it was just easier. He was like, oh, you do a good job at this, I'm not going to, mess with it. And he just kind of let it coast. But her husband was not that man. And it was very deep for me to realize they got married young, like in their 20s, but it wasn't until her 30s in a marriage she realized, God, Lee, I was trying to change a man the whole time. So Dr. Tasha, talk a little bit about that expectation of change in others, how it can derail from the very jump a relationship, much less a marriage. How we are.
Okay.
Go ahead.
For us to think that they need to change.
Yes.
Wow. Yes. That still even talks about how you're not looking in the mirror. So she didn't get it until she started to look in the mirror. I think the question is, when we ask, would you marry you? It's to figure out what are the traits that you wouldn't marry about yourself. That's what the whole point of this conversation is, right? Things like impulsive. Out loud, just anyone that's watching, raise your hand. Just tell the truth, right? Am I impulsive? Yes. Do I have secret addictions? Yes. Am I impatient? Yes. Do I think to get louder in an argument means that you're going to resolve it? Yes, that was me all day. The louder you get, that means that it's going to literally happen. If I add a curse word, will they finally hear me? Is that what raise your hand? You know what I mean? That's the question. Am I a workaholic? Like everybody always wants to talk about like, oh, I don't want them to be like that. Are you this way? Like I know when I got married, I stopped working on the weekends. I used to work every day, 7 days a week, maybe 10 hours each day, building the brand. You get married, ain't nobody, what's that? Money? A whole bunch of money, but no time? Y'all can have that. I'm good. I don't want that in my household. I am naturally a workaholic. Okay, I know that out loud. Hi, my name is Dr. Tasha, and I'm a workaholic. That's what you got to say out loud. You know what I mean? And then who wants to marry that? I know I don't. I need you actually home. So then why am I not home?
Exactly.
Like that's the question. Okay, so that alone, climbing the ladder, being focused about your career, that's all fine. Is it temporary though? What's the end goal? Have you communicated that? Because whoever is choosing you has to know that there still will be time for them. Or do they love that you're a workaholic and y'all both are this way? Are y'all both workaholics and you both don't need each other until Saturday or once Christmas comes? Some people truly, like the holidays mean, oh, now we can spend this much time. Okay, we forgot about this.
Dr. Tasha, I like it. Y'all like what y'all hear? Are y'all getting something? There's so many things we have to ask ourselves. Hello, we have to ask ourselves because there's so many hidden parts of us that no one really knows. And as she said, the secret addictions, right? The
Oh,
secret
secret.
desires, all
Oh,
those
we're
things
talking
that
about the secret addictions.
boy, we get to the relationship. We like, oh, oh, okay, that's what you do all day, okay, or all Sunday.
What? I have a really good friend. She had no idea that her husband was an alcoholic. Let me tell you, while they were dating, okay. Now, of course, there's all different types of alcoholics. There's some people use the word functional. I hate that word because if you're alcoholic, you're an alcoholic, but you may go to work. So just call yourself an alcoholic. That still works. But the truth is, she didn't know when they were dating. Like she always loved that they would have their old fashions together, the martinis together. She just, it's kind of nice if you're a person that likes to drink. It's nice to drink with your person. But she didn't know that he was pre-gaming every time they went out until she gets married to him. And she's like, wait a minute, I only had one. Why does it seem like he's already had 3 or 4? Because he pre-gamed. You didn't know that while you were dating, though. And that's deep because every one just isn't enough. That's what we say in recovery, right? One isn't enough. It's just never. And I say we because I used to work with addicts. I love working in rehab. And that's one is never enough, right? You're always wondering what the next high will be or the next level of intoxication. So could you imagine? Yeah. That's a real addiction. What about the Amazon button? You see what I'm saying? We always go to crack and alcohol. What about the Amazon button? The cart. How many things you got sitting in the cart? Does your boyfriend or girlfriend know about how you love going online to shop? Ooh. That's a real thing. Ooh. Of course, I get it. Maybe you won't go to jail because you click the Amazon button too much. But the truth is, you may be mismanaged money. You have another extra $200 in the bank, and now you somehow have extra. You ain't got extra. Don't let the tires go flat. You now are 2 tires go flat. You now don't have $200. You ain't got nothing extra to shop with. That right there, that's household stuff. That's the stuff that I'm talking about. You just wanted to look cute for your date, but we're talking about how do you think of money? Yes. That's a real, would you marry you? Is your addiction to shopping? Or look at oh, okay, they hit you.
Tasha, you done gave them some meat. Let's go, y'all. Y'all chewing or y'all?
Oh, I see the lead attorney. Hey, lead attorney.
The lead attorney is in the chat. I wanted to give a special shout out. I see you. Thanks for tuning in. The lead attorney, one of the YouTubers extraordinaire out here, showing us newer channels how to do this thing on YouTube. Thank you to the lead attorney for all you've done in helping my growth and teaching me so much about YouTube. Thank you, lead attorney, for being here. But Dr. Tasha, is as far as what you're saying, I see the chat lighting up. Drop some comments, y'all. I'm going to drop the link to see if anybody wants to come up. Let me drop it now.
Oh,
and if
please,
you guys want to come, we need to have a conversation. Because I think we need some context with what's going on in your guys' lives. So if you have real life examples, if you want to ask Dr. Tasha some questions, if you think you're ready to be married and you think you would marry you, I'd like to hear why you think you're ready and why you think you would marry you. I'd love to hear your perspectives. I just dropped the link. Don't be shy. Come on up. But we want to make it a discussion. Let me do a quick reset here. Again, Suzette Speaks here for you guys who have not watched the stream before. If you're watching on any of the partner platforms, Jamaicans.com, big yourselves up. If you're watching on Facebook, and especially if you're watching on my YouTube channel, what's up, everybody? Dr. Tasha is a phenomenal guest. Y'all loved her so much. We are having her back. Go back and watch. Please don't ask me why I'm single. Her first YouTube talk with me, and it was so good. Probably my second best watch to the lead attorney show. And she had so much nuggets in that conversation. I don't want y'all to miss any of it. So you guys can go back and watch it. Most importantly, hit that thumbs up, hit the like button. We want more people to be able to see the conversation. So hit that like button. And if you guys want to get in contact with Dr. Tasha, all her information will be in the description. She is a therapist. She's a doctor of clinical psychology. She has been all over in helping people, like she said, from addiction to marital counseling to, all kinds of ailments, things that are heavy in our spirits, in our lives, in our mental health. She has been dealing with it. So she's an expert when it comes to preparedness and helping people to move forward in their lives and especially move forward with marriage. So we're tapping into a wonderful resource today. She is showing us already what needs to be thought about before we say we are ready, and some of the things that we're not self-aware of, including, as she's saying, the things that, maybe we hide, maybe we keep from our loved ones, maybe we don't share right away on the first, second, or third date. Y'all, me saying, do I know if I like people and that time was too long? Are you kidding me? There's so many things that are a part of people's personalities that you will not know
Oh,
on the
not at
third and
all.
fourth date, y'all. You won't know it till the sixth date. You won't know it till the 6th month where you're like, oh wow, that's a little bit troubling. And then you decide, can we work on this? Is that something he or she is willing to change? Again, I don't want to keep that expectation. And I see Chaos Rain in the back. We're gonna bring you up. But I want to also get with patterns, Dr. Tasha. People who are demonstrating patterns where they are coming into relationships with people. It's the same type of dude. It's the same type of girl. It's the same end result. And they maybe not, maybe they do not recognize why, or why they feel it's you know, what they can do to arrest the pattern. Let me start there. So after I take Chaos Rain, I see you, Chaos Rain. I'm gonna add you. The link has been dropped, guys. We're gonna make it a multi person conversation today. Dr. Tasha's here to
Oh
kind
yeah,
of
we can do some drive-bys any
we
day,
want
every
you,
5 minutes.
we want you to come on up. So first guest up, I love it. Can you unmute yourself? I'm gonna add you now. Chaos Rain, how are you? Welcome. Can you hear me, Chaos Rain? How you doing?
Yes, I can hear you.
Hi, welcome. Thanks for coming
Welcome.
up.
Yes, welcome. Thank you.
Where are you calling from? Where are you located? May I ask?
In the New England area.
Okay,
But,
New England. So what do you think about this topic? Would you marry you? What are your insights so far?
I saw the link and I'm just sitting and listening y'all as I came up. My question in regards to knowing somebody, cause y'all talk about this knowing someone. Is this for marriage or just in general?
I would say for marriage.
Okay.
Yeah, this could be for anything.
But
This
tell me the context
this
of what you
conversation could
mean.
also be, what would you stay married to you? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
There's a whole lot you could play with. It's not even just for singles. It's just the idea of while you're dating, those that want to get married, but the idea is they're questioning why they're not married. And sometimes it's because you wouldn't even date you, meaning that you're not even attractive as much as even to yourself.
So you can give us your take on it.
So
Which way were you looking at it? Yeah.
Let me say this. For people that's seeking marriage, that's a person that wants and seeking marriage. That means that they're putting it as a priority. Now, if they're putting the back burner, you get nothing. This could apply to women, and we could say apply to some men too, depending if the man is over the age of 30 or late 20s. The point is, when a person, let's say you're dating and everything's going well, they say on the average it takes 6 months. But because we live in this Western society, it should be a little longer since people are always wanting perfection. They're hoping some insurance, I don't know what they call it, but everybody knows that once a man decides that he decided to get one knee, give you the ring, he's already confirmed, say, yeah, this might be the one. You get me? I'm going to rock this one out. That's what most women should be expecting, hopefully. Now, regardless of how long it takes, depending on your age, and I said depending on your age, usually as you get older, and I'm just giving my scenario, everybody's different. If you're looking to settle down, if you're going to be that serious, you should not waste no more than a year with a man. I'm saying? At best. I'm saying? I'm not expecting to say you should be pushing it to 3, 4, 5 years, these long time relationships. If you're younger, maybe 2, but it should not be anything beyond 3 years on the average. Mm-hmm. I mean, I don't go by the 6 months now, because now some people try to look for that get that represent out within the first year, and you're not gonna get that from either side. So the best you can do is you play the longer game, because everything reveals with time.
I have a question for you, Chaos. Can you answer my questions for me?
And what question is that?
Are you single or married?
No, I'm single right now.
Single, and how old are you?
Well, right now I'm in my 30s.
He said right now, as in tomorrow you'll be in your 40s. What's happening exactly?
We're gonna keep that's fine.
That's as far as I'm giving it right now.
That's okay.
Okay, you're in your 30s and you're single. And are you dating? Are you dating for fun? Are you dating for commitment?
Oh, right now I'm not dating right now. Right now, just right now.
And can you explain to me why? Like why you've decided to not date? Were you just dating and you just got out of something? And you give yourself a break?
Me right now?
Wait a minute.
Much of priority right now. If I make the time, I date, but it's all about
just
me
in this moment. You ain't on that right now. Yeah. I get it. Cool. So
You're
your
not
insight
making
comes
the time.
from your past in terms of.
I mean, little experience from what
Yeah.
I am, and I observe beside my own experience, and my experience is different from everybody else.
Yes.
So like I just the environment as is. So I always compartmentalize, say, as a solution, let me see if I can deal with a solution out of my perspective. People ask me, and everybody has their own solution. Say, we should take this route. You should take this route. Okay, that's good. But I say, what makes sense? You know what I'm saying? And I say, this probably makes sense to my thinking.
No, we get you. We get
because
you.
think about it. You always hear when it comes to us, we have these long, if we're in like coupling up, it's always got to be some end goal.
Yes.
And in these relationships for like say years, 5.
So you're not for these 7-year engagements,
and 10 years. I say, hold on.
10-year. Okay, I get your point. You like
long? Say, you going? And she has kids. Because mostly, the longer you have, you're gonna have kids. The longer you're in it, right?
Yeah.
That's the average, right? So it's okay.
Oh, because we ain't nobody having sex with them.
It's something that you're gonna make it. Oh, like this is this instead of the game thing. And that's where the line draws. But it's like I said, women staying long. You know what I'm saying? For a reason.
Your point is well taken. I think we're good. Thank you, Chaos, because you're basically saying don't stay long. A man knows what he wants, and you should know what you want, particularly if you're more mature. You shouldn't be in a relationship. You're saying, are you ready or are you not? Either, what they say or get off the pot. So you're saying you should pretty much know 6 months, a year where this is going, and if it's not going anywhere, move on. Is that what your main point is?
I mean, yeah, that's what I'm saying. If you're younger, if you're actually older, it should be no more than a year because you don't have time to waste. You get me?
Awesome.
Can I ask you a question?
If you're younger, it should not be. You should not push it any beyond 2 years, if at best. And this is just being nice because you hear people sort of say, "So how long this man should wait?" And I say, I give you my share.
Last question. Go ahead, Dr. Tasha. Thank you, Chaos. And go one more question.
All right.
This is the last question regarding the topic, not how long we should stay. Okay. So in terms of you, because you, that's the whole point. We all know ourselves. Would you say that you have any traits that are not attractive to someone to want to commit to you? And if so, what are they?
What traits that for me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna keep that alone for now.
Oh, you said you're gonna leave that alone? See, that's what the point of the topic.
That's the main thing that we talking, Chaos. It's not.
I can't go.
Come on, Chaos, give us one. Yeah. Drop one. If you got 17, just drop one.
Suzette, you ever hear the lead term? We put the finger. Go.
Yeah.
You're not whispering.
So you don't want to tell us one trait that you're working on that you might want to improve?
Thank you, Dr. Tasha. That's all. Chaos.
This is what happens.
Everybody else talk.
He ain't ready. But he said he's not ready.
I love Chaos Ray. Thank you so much. Chaos Ray said, I'm out of here. I ain't gonna give you all my business.
Okay, for those that's ready to have a conversation about the things that you represent that you know are not attractive, come on up here because we can talk about what is that's keeping folks away from committing to you. Let's talk about it.
Yeah,
real deal.
I'm dropping a link back because people
want they're not ready. Yeah, we don't want the superficial, shallow end of the pool. We appreciate him getting it started, but we only gonna stay in the depth of the ocean. That's the only conversation we gonna have with me. Okay, is would you marry you? Yes or no, and why?
We're getting to the crux of the argument here, guys. We have a topic that we're going to focus on. So if you are in that pool where you're looking to be married or you already married, it's all good. But we want to talk about some of the things that we may not, that may make us not ready to be married as much as we think. So I'm here again with my special guest, Doctor of Clinical Psychology, Dr. Latasha Russell. What's the hyphenated part? Sorry.
Oh, Russell Harris. Oh, Russell's my last name, maiden name, and now Harris is my new name.
Okay. And she's here dropping gems. I see Miss B Finesse in the back. We're gonna bring her up next. How are you, Miss B Finesse?
Oh Lord, I done came up into something.
We are here. Yes. Hey,
beautiful day to you, my love. Thank you again for having me on your show. How are you?
I am feeling great, Suzette. Hey, Dr. Tasha, I'm so happy to be up here with you ladies. I wanted to just kind of stop by, show some love, ask a quick question. But I need to talk about, you said marry myself, or can I ask a question?
First.
She's married, so you can take, what's your, let me ask you this then, Miss B Finesse. How did you know you were ready to be married? And were you, now that you have been married, were you actually did you have a lot that you had to change before you, or since you've been married?
Yeah,
That you didn't
so
realize before. Go ahead and give us a little bit of that.
yes. So
Introduce
to
yourself
the
and give us a little bit of that. Yeah.
okay, perfect. So to the question about marrying myself first, I'll answer that, and then I want to ask Dr. Tasha a question. Yes. No, I'm sorry. No, I wouldn't have married myself before I made the changes. I was very much so selfish. As far as the forgiving,
Ugly. Yes.
yeah, as far as I can concur with you, Dr. Tasha, on the wanting things my way all the time, because I normally did. I guess you would call me spoiled in a sense in relationships, because I did get my way. So the first time, like, my husband did say no, I was just like, Shaggy, like, what's going on here? What do you mean? And I started to learn, growing with my husband, that I married him because I trust him. So I have to understand that if I trust him, I have to fall back. And that's hard for women because we're so used to doing things, being pushed to be the
That is a
overachievers,
great one.
being
If you
pushed
trust,
to
fall back. I love
that's
it.
it. And that's the biggest thing, because that's why I wanted to go back to the forgiveness question, but I'll stay on this for a little bit because this is necessary. It's you don't trust what you can't put effort in and love. So if you're not, if you feel like that you can't cohort with somebody and be okay if they don't agree with you, or follow through with something because they can't agree with you, then, like you said, Dr. Tasha, that's a you thing. And I think a lot of times we don't want to hit this wall. I know I didn't, Dr. Tasha. I'm speaking on me. I'll just talk on
You
me.
know what I'm saying?
I-
You gotta say it out loud. Like I don't trust you, bruh. You know what I mean?
I just talk about me. Because listen, Dr. Tasha, everybody don't want to hear it. They don't want to face the mirror. So I'll
They
talk
don't
about
want to, but they
Mrs.
want
B
to be
Finesse.
married. And it's gonna be in there, it's gonna hit them in their face so hard. And then be like, dang, it's true.
Yes.
We here to help you.
All the things, Dr. Tasha, is going to get exacerbated when you get married. So if you didn't, like you said, if you didn't deal with the issue of trust.
You can't not run. You cannot run. Where you gonna go?
Can't run.
Which
You can't go
bathroom?
nowhere.
The basement?
Yep. And then you're gonna blame them for it when it's really a you thing. It's really something
it's all you.
you tried to cover it because you didn't want to deal with it. You wanted to go through the kind of grazing period of this is so good, I want to stay in this, not knowing that marriage is a whole journey. So it's gonna be up and down, and that's okay. Like, stop thinking of this whole fairy tale of being the wedding. Women don't want to deal with the marriage. They want to be had a wedding. They don't want to be married. And so that's the big issue. I think the truth of, talking to people that are married, understanding that it's not a fairy tale, and it's okay because that's what you signed up for. If you truly wanted to be married to somebody, you signed up to go for the good and the bad, the sickness and health. And I think it's a mind shift, Dr. Tasha. Like I said, I think you kind of come out of yourself to be married, because it's like you are committing to another person, and we're not used to that. We're so used to getting what we want when we want it. That's a hard shell to break, and I don't think you should get married till you're ready to break it.
I love that, Miss B. I love that. Even to say out loud, even today, if anybody came on and was like, you know what, I have trust issues. So as much as I want to be in a relationship, or I'm in a marriage, how about that? You already said I do, and you still got trust issues.
You still
this ain't exclusive to singles. And it's out loud, like, what is it that you don't trust? Because you may not trust yourself.
It's you.
That's it. People say that all the time. I don't know if I trust women. Then, baby, do you not have a vagina? Because you don't. You what you doing?
Tasha.
How you not gonna trust all the women in the world, but you just the only one trustworthy? Baby, you better learn how to trust you. And then you might have some girlfriends. You know what I mean? No matter what the mother-daughter dynamic was growing up, you gotta be. I love that. Trust is you. Selfishness. No one wants to say that out loud.
Nobody. And it's so funny. It's so funny, Dr. Tasha, when you try to be the one to come up and talk to people, sometimes you got to know people aren't ready. And that's why I wanted to ask you this question, Dr. Tasha.
Go ahead, I'm ready.
Because I've done a stream over this forgiveness, and I remember in the stream it was a lot of kind of contention between the people, forgiving, not forgiving. Why should you do it? You don't need to forgive. So my question to you, Dr. Tasha, since this is what your profession is and you're licensed and certified, so when you're forgiving somebody, Dr. Tasha, should you strive to forgive and forget and not hold on to the past mistakes, or should you forgive but never forget and keep the guard up? How should you move and function with that? Because I've always just kind of wondered what somebody, as far as you licensed and clinical, what would you say as far as that with people? Because that right there, people say they forgive, they say they over it, but the next week when we talking, you bring up what I did to you. Or when we haven't seen each other, and then I see you sneak diss me. You say some little slick stuff. Oh, girl, I'm just playing. Oh, man, I'm just kidding. So I want to know what you had to say about that. Was my question.
I love that.
Before you answer that, Doc, excuse me before you answer that.
Oh
I
yeah,
just
go
wanna
ahead,
have
go ahead.
mindful
Commercial
moments
break.
for a super sticker. Thank you all the way with the pounds. Thank you very much. Go ahead, Doc.
Ooh.
Okay, so that's a good one. The first answer that comes to mind is, do we forgive and forget, or do we forgive and never forget? I think it depends on if the relationship is going to be ongoing, right? So if you're choosing to stay, if it's with your sister who you do want to go to some holiday trip with, or if it's with the cousin that you used to not trust, but you want to get past it. So it has to do with how long, like the longevity of the relationship, of the forgetting. And really, we never really forget. We can repress it. But the truth is that you're not going to respond to it anymore, that you're not going to react to it anymore.
Okay.
That is true forgiveness, right? Now, the never forget, folks, I actually think that is going to really bring up the resentment forever, which is what you're talking about. And that doesn't work well for ongoing relationships. If you are going to stay in this relationship romantically, if you're going to stay wanting to come over mama's house, who every time you go there, you're triggered. Yeah, that's your own mama. We always talking about it's the man. It's not the man, it's your mama. You know what I'm saying? What trigger does she bring when you go to her kitchen? What trigger happens when you go to grandpa's house because of whatever happened there that you have never forgotten? That's the thing that we're forgiving. But if you choose to continue to stay going over there, now we got to do something about it, because that resentment is heavy. That resentment gonna give you the ulcers. They doing just fine. You the one can't keep no food down, but it's what's that doing for you? The never forget can hurt you, right? But to actually get to a place of, I think, forgetting, if you choose to love and like get to that place of like that pure, like they messed up. In my mind, like now you're going into a true intimate relationship that even they have, if you've ever been forgiven, and that could be for us or for someone else, but if you've ever truly been forgiven, you are sometimes really good people. They are better to you than they have ever been, because they know they now have a second chance. So how dare you bring it back up? Because they are hurting in themselves longer than you're actually holding the hurt. Like that's a real, someone that really offended you, they're feeling the guilt and the shame, and just to know that you are going to give them a second chance, they will never, never, never in life. So that person deserves the forget, to go with the forgive, if you choose to stay. Did that make sense?
Yes. Thank you, Suzette. I definitely wanted to hear that question being answered. I thank you for that, Dr. Tasha. I just think it's imperative. I think it's imperative. What do you think, Suzette? What do you think about it? Do you think we
I
should?
really don't forget. So
That's
I'm
real.
just gonna tell you that in my heart, I try to pray for kind of like just you know, giving them a clean slate. But in my heart, I'm not gonna say I've forgotten my wounds. I'm an empath. I feel things, so it's not like I'm gonna forget. But I try not to bring it back up. I try not to bring it back up. I think it's very wrong once you say you've forgiven somebody to bring that thing back up and then throw it in their face
It's
6 months
true.
later, a year later, 2 years later, when you're trying to like get that sucker punch and that gut punch. I don't think it's right, and I would want the same type of forgiveness from somebody else. So I try to forget. I'm not gonna pretend that I do, though. I
That's
don't.
real.
But in my
I
head,
did
I'm
just think
like,
of something. You know what?
yeah.
I appreciate that honesty, Suzette. One of the things that you just reminded me of, it is hard in a long-term relationship, even if it's with a family member, that it is hard to forgive you if you continue to remind me of the very thing that I have to keep forgiving you for. Now that right there, I'm like, look at here now. I'm gonna give you the 3 forgiving moments, but not the same thing.
Yeah,
Because
no.
now I think you're trying to hurt me. You're not even trying to not do that. So
Yeah, if they are repeating the pattern, that's a whole different ballgame.
yeah, that's
If
another
repeating the pattern,
conversation.
or they're trying their best not to repeat the pattern, they may slip up. You
Exactly.
try to, you have to show grace. You have to show grace, because we
Yep.
want grace too.
Yep.
So I try not to say, but I'll give a warning. I'm a person that I give a warning. I'll be like, I don't like when you do that. I'll say it
You
nice.
know that pushes me away.
That is not where I'm at with you. So please don't do it.
Thank
But
you
if
for
you
that,
get,
Suzette.
you
That's
get
true.
2 or 3 warnings and then you come hard again, I have to deal with it. I do.
Yeah.
I'm not going to pretend like it doesn't happen, because then I think you're breaking or you're pushing past a boundary, and you're showing like a whole nother level, like disrespect,
Yep.
So, but if it's really not intentional, so to speak, I definitely try to show more grace for it. And I think, people deserve a chance to grow.
And
But
in
it hurts.
psychology, that's called being mindful. Once you hurt someone, then you're gonna stay mindful.
Yeah, if I can see in you that you're being mindful, I won't be
Yeah.
mad about
Right.
it.
Then it's clean slate is easy.
Exactly. So, but if you're not being mindful, and like you said, you keep coming back with the same foolishness
No,
over and over again,
sir.
it hurts. And it's like, okay, well, are we really made for, this relationship?
Yeah,
If
yeah.
not, I've gotta recalibrate. Either you're going to see that this is a boundary I don't want you to cross. And if you keep crossing it, then I have to decide, then we have some decisions to make. So that's how I look at
Okay,
it, Miss
thank
B.
you guys for
I
that. I'm gonna let the
appreciate
other
you.
people come up. You guys have a great
Yes.
day.
Thank you, Miss
See
B.
you.
You did an
Thank
excellent
you.
job. Thank you so much.
You guys
All
have
right,
a blessed
see you
day.
soon. All right,
You too.
darling. Blessings to you, Miss B Finesse. Thank you so much for coming up again. Suzette Speaks here. Please hit that like button. We're here with Dr. Tasha, Doctor of Clinical Psychology, founder of Drive-By Therapy. She's here talking a little bit about this interesting topic we came up with, which is, would you marry you? And I want to know a little bit more about these patterns, Doc, because people have all the signs sometimes that they are not ready to be married just by the patterns that they're showing. So please tell me, what do you see sometimes in terms of behavior that indicates that you're not ready when you're selecting the similar type of dysfunction over and over again, selecting the similar type of maybe emotionally unavailable person, maybe persons who have, just trauma, and you're the savior, if you will, and you keep getting hurt because once they get better, you don't have a role to play in their lives. Like, let's talk about patterns that sometimes give us an indication that we may not be ready, that we may have some growing to do, and we may have some, relational growth to do from how we relate to other people.
That's a good question. So let's start with the negative beliefs that you have about relationships already. Just what are your negative beliefs? Like, the relationship, it hasn't even started yet, and you already wondering what's wrong with him or what's wrong with her. That's not a good look. Like, you may want to work on, why am I so negative when it comes to relationships? Either the forgiveness has to happen from the past, or like, can you actually be optimistic about whoever you're meeting may be great? Can we start there? It's kind of like in school when you are given the A first and then you come down. Why are you already giving them the F to see if are they going to continue this to give them a better grade? So the too many like do nots. Or for instance, have you ever gone on a date where someone's like, I don't like this, I don't like that? They ain't said nothing about what they do like, but they got so many do nots. I don't do this, I don't like people that's hella negative. You are across the date with someone that's hella negative. So you want to identify that. Would you marry you if you are negative about relationships? No, because it's not a good look. Whoever's across from you, whoever's attracted to you, they don't feel like you are actually liking them at all. That's one. We already kind of talked about earlier about you don't trust anybody, which is a whole conversation. Sometimes it is justified why we don't trust folks. The way you think of men or the way you think of women. So just literally like, men are this way. Would you marry yourself if all that you think about of you is something negative? No. That's what I'm saying. So how do you think of men? How do you think of women? Men are this way. Oh, look at Joel. What up, Joel? Here we go. Never satisfied. Oh my God, this pattern right here, I can't stand it. I literally can't stand it. Now, I don't know too many men like this. I know more women like this, where they are never satisfied. Nothing that you do for them is enough. That's hella tiring. You are exhausting these brothers out here. Like, you're never satisfied. He gave you his all of whatever his all is in the moment, and then you're never satisfied. Find some gratitude. Like, I was going to call you chick. That's funny. Whoever you are, I was going to call you chick. Literally, find some gratitude in yourself of just to know that they were being thoughtful. Can they get some points of just their thinking? Another pattern. We talked about selfish indecision. So the idea is you can't make a decision. Maybe you're torn between two different men or two different women. What's taking so long? You know what I mean? Like, do you actually believe that the grass is greener over here? Why don't you just make sure that this side is mowed well and landscaped and watered? Pick one. Now, I'm not saying in terms of monogamy forever, it's got to be 1,000 years with one person. But I am saying work on exactly your decision-making skills. Don't make poor decisions. Don't make decisions this is for the brothers. You are welcome for what I'm about to say. Making decisions from the wrong head. Did you hear me? Brothers, you got to get out of the pattern of making decisions with the wrong head. We got to get better at making the right decisions from this head. I know the blood goes down here. I know it gets strong arm down here. But you cannot make decisions from him. He is going to not serve you well. I'm serious. This thing right here, you got to start making decisions from the right head. That's a whole nother show. But that's
God, don't give me
Oh, we forget about that. Like, I don't care how fine it is.
Let me drop the link. Y'all want to come up and talk? Let me drop the link.
Talk about, brothers, come on out here about the decisions that you made from the wrong head and tell us about the rest of your life since you made that decision. Ooh. That's a real thing. Ooh. Oh, that's too funny. I sound like Niecy Nash.
I saw that. I was like, let me put it up there.
Oh, that's cute. That she's hella loud. I don't know how I feel about that, but you're right.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, and I see one person was like, Suzette, don't overtalk the dog. I'm like, come on, guys. We're homegirls. We out here. We can the conversation. We know how we go. So it's all love. We're not playing that game. It's all empowerment here. So if y'all want to come up, Chris talk about leave my pee out of
Oh, y'all want us to talk about your penis, Chris? Chris's take. Okay, sir. You and your take, come on through. Okay, because I am ready for you. Because the truth is, you know the decision you made from that head. I'm talking about biology, right? I'm not a medical doctor, but let me tell you, the blood literally goes. I'm talking about when you are aroused. It goes from here to here. Like
that's how they end up with a chick from Foot Locker, Doc. That's how they.
Okay, mine's long. Y'all see how long mine is? Look at that. I got a long one. It's real. But the truth is, where did the blood go? It's not here. You got to give yourself time to bring it back to your cerebral region.
Yes.
Here, he has a good time. Okay, I understand. He has a good time. He's good between 11 p.m. and 3 in the morning. But then 7 a.m. to 7 p.m., them hours, those bill paying hours, those like the rest of your life is depending on the hours.
Yes.
Yeah, you want to be careful them nighttime.
Yes.
Wrong head.
Yes.
That's my sister.
Yay. Thanks for coming on.
God. Hey, Dad.
There's so much there in what you just said. I'm trying to process for myself. I know we ended on a funny note there, but true note. Yeah, there's so many comments. I can't even put the comments up because they're very graphic.
Oh, I'm ready. We can do graphics.
But they're funny. They're good. It's not bad, but they're good. Talking about what's going on. Thank you, L.O. says we are a great comment. I appreciate it, Tylen. Yeah, I am 25, so I'm too young to marry. So is there an age? So let's talk about the readiness and age, because I saw Sunbreeze. Thank you. Sunbreeze had a comment that said, it seems to me when people get older, they seem like they are more ready. There it is. I notice when people get older and wiser, they want marriage. In the readiness perspective, or from the idea of there being a better time or not so good time, do you subscribe to that? Do people get ready like in their 20s? Because there are a lot of people like, oh, I'm ready to be married. There are schools of thought that think that, marriage early is good because you guys are so young. You don't have all these you're
gonna be cheating on each other in about a decade.
Yes, you don't have all the garbage. You don't have the baggage, I should say. And so you're 21 or you're 25 and you're jumping in the world, the deep end together, and you guys both have no clue what's going on, and you grow together. And hopefully
it's cute for like a decade though.
Yeah, I was about to say
the college sweetheart thing is cute.
Yeah, it lasts or it doesn't last. Either you're divorced by 30 or you're stronger by 30, one or the other. So what do you think about that in terms of timing and age and season, if you will? Do you see a pattern from your practice that shows that marriages tend to be stronger if they're undertaken, before 30 or after 30 or after 40 or after 50? Like what in those, let's do it by decade. Do you think there are, in general, of course, everybody is an individual and things are different for each person, but are there strengths and weaknesses into when you get married? And what are they, if you've seen that in your practice in terms of the maturity side?
Strength? Oh, wow. That's a good one. I mean, the first thing that comes to mind is some people who even get married early, by the time they're 40, 50, 60 in their second marriage, like they are better because they now realize what they need versus what they want, right? Yeah. So we got to change your eyes to figure out what is it that I need. Now, if you are 25 years old or 28 years old and you finally figured out what you need versus what you want, go ahead and try this thing out. We're going to talk soon, okay? It's real. It's real out here. But the truth is, we already know that age don't come with maturity, okay? It's plenty of folks still stuck on stupid that's 63 years old. Okay, a whole 63, a whole 72, and you still making the same decisions because you haven't learned what it is that you're actually doing wrong. The truth is, for instance, some people want to have someone that is supportive, right? But they don't want someone so passive that they're not ambitious. Oh, okay. You see how deep that is? oh, he's so supportive of my career, but he's not ambitious with his own. But you were so caught up on the wanting. Now you realize maybe a decade later, by 38, 42, oh, I actually need someone that is equally ambitious. Y'all get how the same thing can actually be a double-edged sword? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Or let me think of another one that, oh, you want someone that's hella like powerful and then a leader, but then that chick will cuss you clean out when y'all get into an argument. And so you don't realize what you need is someone that's respectful and that may lead. But maybe it needs to come second to her being a leader or him being a leader, because he could be, I know a lot of women were attracted to powerful men. Okay. But is he an a-hole? Oh, you didn't realize that part. So yes, in the courtroom or yes, in the boardroom, he is strong and assertive. And then he gets home and he ain't got nothing for you. Okay. Nothing. So that double-edged sword is, what do you need? I need a man that can balance his power and his peace, or his ability to be assertive and possibly aggressive at the same time, where then there's a level of balance. You get the difference? There's nothing wrong with like going after something, which is what I'm calling aggressive. But then there has to be a place of, do we want this versus I want this? When you get a conceited person or an arrogant person, it's not a good look.
Mm-hmm.
Can you hear that music in my background?
No, you good, baby. You good. No, I was just digesting what you're saying, and I love reading the chat too. So I was very like,
oh no, that's fine. But even that, you got to find out what you need versus what you want.
Come on.
I didn't answer your question though. 20, 30,
no,
40,
no, get it. So anybody want to come up, please? The back is open. Go ahead, Doc. Go ahead.
Yeah. So the idea is about your maturity of how you can actually like coexist with someone else. Like, can it be about them sometimes? Can you yield to them? Like, that is going to be your sexy right there. When when folks put on their red dress, their yellow dress, their black dress, and it's so fine. No. Your new sexy is going to be, how do you yield to your man? How do you yield to your woman? Okay. We're not doing the submission on one side. This thing is mutual. Do you know how? Can you actually sit back and let them make the decisions? Or can you trust the decision that they made? This thing is hard, because think about it. You only make decisions for yourself, but trust can actually come. And I think it's one of the sexiest things in life, next to self-control, right? Did we not talk about that? A true self person that has level of self-control, that's the new sexy. You know what I mean? How well do you think something and you don't do it? Like, where you're not impulsive. Like, that's another question of, would you marry you? And then the scared of commitment. Sometimes in your 20s, you are scared of commitment. And so let's not enter anything into fear. But if you're 50 because you got divorced, that's right. And now you're scared to marry again. Don't enter into nothing while you're scared. Get your little scary self together. That's all I'm saying. And then enter into it. Because that fear, it's not a good look, even for your spouse or your partner, to have to sift through your fear to finally have some faith or some hope that this thing is going to work, even after you're disappointed. You get what I'm saying? Which goes back to that forgiveness. I'm not playing. Marriage and forgiveness are like twins. Like, it has to go together. Absolutely. Both of us. Yes, sir. See what I'm saying, Dave Guthrie? It's 100% on each side. You got to mutually do this thing. Like, nobody gets points by how many times did you submit? No. Like, out submit each other. You know what I'm saying? Out love each other. Out forgive each other. Yes. And that could be married or single. Just try it. You'll feel so much better about yourself. Y'all know that moment of pride where you're like, oh, shoot, I just held my tongue. Okay, that's just me. No. See, I give myself points. I'm like, this tongue gonna fall off.
That Ebony said, Dr. Tasha is on fire. Yes, she is. That's why I let it go, y'all. I just listened because I'm taking notes as well. I'm so excited, you guys. If you want to come up, the back is open. We want to include beyond the chat anybody who wants to come up and talk. I know y'all don't want to get on the couch now that y'all saw Dr. Tasha ask a couple questions. Now y'all act like y'all don't want to come up. Everybody's like, come through. I can't wait. I wanted this conversation, Suzette. Thank you for planning this. This is going to be good. And then sometimes you get a little nervous. You don't have to even show your face. The way it works is that StreamYard link I put on the chat that says join the convo, or my moderators, RM, thank you. I've put out there. You can click on that link and you can come up. You don't even have to see your face. You can turn off your video and you can just leave your thoughts and your comments alone. We won't even see your face. So if you are thinking, yeah, girl, go Dr. Tasha, you got it. And I agree with what you're saying, Or if you have a different perspective, we like to open up, the conversation to others who may see things a little bit differently. And you guys are like, I'm at work. I hear you. Mika, what's up? She's like, yeah, I would have called and I would come up, but you know how I go. I'm at work. I don't care. That's okay. Thank you for listening anyway. I know a lot of you. Thank you, Sunbreeze. I see a super sticker. Thank you, Sunbreeze. Always representing. Thank you, love. From the Bay Area. When I get
22,
Cali,
22.
I don't
Yes.
even, no comment, just pure love. Just pure love. Thank you for your support. I appreciate all of my super chatters, those who have been. Oh, thank you. I saw one Cash App as well. Thank you so much. Let me just read the name. Big up to you guys on the Cash App, showing love. Ellie JJ RN, she say love for Dr. Tasha, heart for Dr. Tasha. Thank you for that $10 Cash App. Appreciate you.
Come on, $10.
And I will pass it on. Thank you very much, because she does it for the love of helping others as I do. And we got to hear each other, guys. Sometimes we were thinking we were ready and we ain't ready. We thinking we got what it takes. We haven't had the time to learn and hone our communication skills. We definitely have not worked on our forgiveness skills. Forgiveness, as she says, every day is the crux of relationships success, period. So if we have not worked on forgiving ourselves first, let's talk about that, Dr. Tasha, because I think a lot of people think they're ready.
Forgiving ourselves.
They're carrying a lot of weight. Some of us come out of, less than perfect circumstances, whether it was one parent or two parent, whether it was a lot of love or a little love, whether it was, again, role modeling that might be different from where our spouse's family's role modeling came from, where the man was strong, where the woman was strong, and vice versa. Talk a little bit about that component, our history, and why it's important, especially with, I'm talking about how you grew up in a household. What was taught to you by your mother and father? Because I think, me personally, I think about 80% of who we become, I don't know, you would know, as a wife or a husband, or as a person looking to be a wife or a husband, comes from what we saw at home. And not all of those tools and patterns serve us well. Sometimes they weren't really healthy. Sometimes they left us, feeling abandoned or feeling like afraid to do, like you're saying, step out there again. Talk a little bit about how you see in your practice what were childhood issues pop up when it comes to making oneself or either ready or, like you said, trying to sustain a marriage. Talk a little bit about what work you see people haven't done when it comes to recognizing patterns within yourself from your family, from your parental unit or whoever were your caregivers, so that you get into a marriage and you're trying to hold on to that model, that frame of mind, that those ways of not handling conflict resolution well or not. Just talk about how you see family patterns that people may even be unaware of play into who they become in a relationship. I think that's very important.
This is a really good question. This is a really good question. Even the way that you decide to stay or not stay, or how you push people away, or in hopes that they come back, like that was a learned behavior. One of the things that I would say that, let me know if you can hear this music in my background. But the truth is that I would
hear it. You're good.
You can't. Okay, perfect. Okay, so right when you said wait, it was so interesting that I wrote down, have you let yourself go? Now, sometimes that could be figuratively or like literally, right? So have you let yourself go? Would you marry yourself knowing the weight that you're carrying literally, right? Maybe you're 100 pounds overweight or 50 pounds overweight, then your ideal, not what the doctor said, because we already know versus brown folks, the scale is a little different, okay? So we're talking about your own ideal weight, and then how much have you let yourself go? Like literally, then figuratively, how much weight are you carrying? Like how much literal, like feelings, emotion, wounds, like how many scars are going on everywhere, where every time you see it, you are still triggered. Every time you listen to a song, you are reminded. Every time you actually even watch TV, what are you crying about when you're watching Lifetime? What is it that comes to mind? You know what I mean? When someone walks through your door during the holidays, that's weight. That weight is the weight that could push someone away that is actually interested in you. So let's talk about where it comes from. You are right. 80% of the things that we see is what we become. 80% of what we see is what we become. Now we can unlearn some things that we see. There's always that exception. However, do you see that that's the issue, which is the heart part? Do you actually see the thing that it is? Remember I asked Chaos earlier and he dodged me? Mm-hmm. You know, that's a real thing. He wasn't ready to talk about it on screen, but ask that to yourself when no one's around. Like, what is that very thing that I don't like about myself that I'm probably sure nobody would? And it could be, let me give you one of them. Pushing people away. Now, let me tell you, it's called anxious attachment. In psychology, we call it anxious attachment, meaning that you literally are going to, oh, baby, you already have done this. And let me explain why you did this. You left in hopes that he followed you. That's right. You pushed her away in hopes that she was going to ask you back, because you actually feel loved when someone wants you after you push them away. That's a learned behavior. That's a learned toxic behavior that you've allowed to be your norm. Oh, well, it's so cool that we're always off and on. Y'all know the couple. Y'all already think about it. What's the off and on? You've been more off than on. You've been more on than off. Why? You know what I mean? Is it that you feel loved when they come back? What kind of game are we playing here? You know what I mean? That's one. How about that's the idea of, and what about anticipating that they leave? Because everybody in your life has left you. I know a lady that literally her parents have died and both of her boyfriends, one was a fiance, died. So how do you think she's thinking about dating right now? She literally thinks that everybody that she loves dies. She really, really, really thinks this. And so she's entering the relationship or dating ship thinking that this person will leave me. Let me not get too close. So now the person, you got your own wall up because of your what? Weight, your figurative weight, your emotions of you just anticipating that the past will happen. Then staying too long. Okay. So some people anticipate that you'll leave and some people anticipate that you'll never leave because you were used to what were you shown growing up? That no one leaves, that fights can happen, the cops can be called, folks can go to jail and come back, and then mama don't leave. And so you think that a good woman is one that stays. That's a wrap. Let that one go. You know, because it's possible that mama should have left your daddy a long time ago. You know what I'm saying? Grandma should have left your granddaddy a long time ago. The whole idea is you're anticipating that I stay. Would you stay with that? Bet you wouldn't. Don't let me go through the double standard of the men and the women. Have y'all ever known a man that's been cheated on? Tell me, has he stayed? I'll wait. He hasn't. And there might be maybe 10 to 15% because of the kids until the kids go off to college. And then, of course, there's the revenge sex. But I'm talking about like real abilities to be able to take what it is that women have normally taken for years. Why y'all can't take it? Why y'all can't just forgive and just know that it happens? Okay? It just happened at work that one time. You don't get that. You don't get that grace. But we were taught how to stay with that crap. That's the thing. So then if you get married, I know my husband believes in that you stay. 45 years his parents have been together. 45 years my parents were together. So we both believe that you stay. And even if you're miserable, hello, you still stay. So do we have to unlearn that? Or is that like a wonderful virtue? Wow. You know, that's the question. Like you have to figure that out for yourself.
Yeah.
And then I could go on and on about the past and how truly we unbeknownst to ourselves that we don't want to even repeat it, but we do it because it's all we know. It's all we know. Oh shoot, Jay Hilton.
Yeah, that's all I said. Let me bring him up while he's up. Hey Jay, can you unmute yourself?
Hi Suzette, how are you doing?
Well,
you have brought a breath of fresh air to the both the manosphere, if you want to call the woman's sphere as well, because I think you are a good balance. I don't want to say Kevin Samuels, meaning that you bring some sanity to the whole discussion about the relationship between men and women. Because I believe as a man, we are all taught as males how to treat women. But I think because of what Miss was talking about, the whole tolerance of being in a relationship that you might not feel loved. I think many women have decided to go to the extreme of, I don't just say going their own way by being as an intolerant of relationships that don't work their way. And of course, the Disney movies that have contributed to that, because many persons wouldn't have grown with functional mother, father, married for a long time, and see how boy must treat girl, girl must treat boy. So I think we are merged now into the social media world, which everything is just upside down, dysfunctional. And I think this is where now therapy is important. That's why the clinical psychologist or something.
Come on, gotta do that.
Which is important. And it's the whole notion of forgiveness.
Absolutely.
Forgiveness. I think we are supposed to be in a forgiveness competition. Who can forgive more? Because bitterness on both sides, both men and women, is keeping back a lot of people. People being bitter. Nobody wants to go and get therapy. So I think that the point that I am getting to is the fact that in the modern times that we are in, I think that relationships should be even taught in schools how to form good relationships between people, because people don't know how to form good relationships. So if you,
I agree.
at the basic level, if you can form a good relationship with somebody, and when you get deeper into man and woman relationship, how are you going to function? And I think it has both affected men and women, where men have become independent, women have become independent on the extreme side, where they feel that they can do without men. On the other side, men believing that, think that they can go their own way. And I don't think God had actually designed it like that. I was married for 20, close to 30 years. And I got divorced because we just drift apart. And I think part of my fault would be, I don't think I was properly taught how to nourish a relationship.
I
growing.
love
Just
that,
for the
Jay
sake
Hilton.
of
That is
creating.
everything. How to proper nourish,
And it works.
nurture,
So I
water.
think the dysfunctionality is both on both sides,
Huge.
both on the male side and the female side. That's just my contribution.
See what I'm saying? You see how he came from his relationship, his marriage, and said, "What is
Not
it that
sharing
I
that
did
with
not
others.
know?" That's huge. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? And now he'll do it differently. If you want to love again, you want to love again, Jay Hilton. You want to find love again?
I'm not hearing you so well, you know.
Oh,
There's what they've gone
darn.
down. Hold on,
We
let me
wanted you to
turn it down.
answer some questions, Jay.
Oh,
My
now we gotta
Jamaican
go.
brother.
We
Oh,
got it.
I
Lord.
lost your. I can't hear.
You can't
Oh,
hear?
shoot.
Oh,
that was
we were
good.
enjoying your insights. Oh, my goodness. We were enjoying your insights so much, Jay Hilton. Well, if you can't hear, oh, gosh. Can you hear us now? Oh,
No.
gosh. Can you hear us now?
I have to turn on the TV,
You watch it
and
through
it's
the
gonna echo
TV.
on you.
That's why we have the echo. We watch it through the TV.
It's a lot going on right
Dr.
now.
Tasha was asking you a question. Can you listen to our
Let
question,
me
please?
pause it. Pause
No,
it. I can't
Jay, you
hardly
don't
hear
pause
you.
yours. I'll put you on
Yes.
mute. Just listen to Dr. Tasha. Keep your TV on.
Maybe
I'll
I'll have
put
to
you on mute.
rejoin you.
Go ahead and ask him. See if he'll.
Okay, so the question is, I appreciate that you have.
Jesus. No, Doc. He
Oh,
gone.
he's gone. Dang.
Jay
They don't
had
be
us on
ready
the
for these
TV.
drive-bys. They don't be ready for
My
these
Jamaican
drive-bys.
brother has some good insights. He had an echo. I know I heard it too, A. Sorry about that. But he was trying to make
He
a
probably
good
wants to love
point.
again. I'll answer my
Yeah.
own question. He sounds like a lover. He'll love again.
He does. And I'm glad that he was able to say, again, I did not receive proper training on how to be in a relationship. And I think that takes a big person to say that, when he realized, he didn't know how to nourish. It is hard. And I think what he was also adding was that, therefore, we're seeing a lot of dysfunction. A lot of people were not taught how to nourish a relationship
Not at
with another
all.
human being.
Just to
I
just
think in
survive.
kindergarten on up, besides the sharing is caring and some of those early lessons, when we started to mature and enter the seasons of, middle school, high school, college, I don't think there's enough, and I agree with him, emphasis placed on relationships and how to do them well, and what a man and a woman, what their yin and yang is, how they fill each other's, weaknesses, or support one another's, what should I say, God-given roles. I think it's hard to know those things in their entirety once you're in, the lion's den. You're here in the marriage now, and it's like, okay, ready, go. How do we do this? And if you didn't get, or you didn't feel like you got good insights from where you were raised, that's what the question I was asking before you came up. I'm telling you, a lot of people are relying on some faulty playbooks because they're not recognizing how it was just what they knew, how what they knew is now impacting where they are with who they are with now. I think so many people get lost in the, well, this is the playbook. I knew this, and they don't even realize it's they're drawing from that playbook and trying to, again, fit their current relationship or spouse into the playbook they know. But again, that playbook may not serve you well. There may be places for improvement and growth. And if you don't know how and where the tools are, the toolbox looks empty. You are sitting here trying to figure out how to do marriage and do life with somebody, and you don't even understand, again, the basics, the forgiveness, the communication. Go ahead, Dr. Tasha.
Even with your analogy, I think that was a great analogy. The idea of the playbook, a real good coach goes off of like your defense changes by your offense. So it's always constantly changing. Is it going to be a man-to-man court? You know what I mean? Four-man court prep? Or are we going to do some kind of zoning? And it doesn't work. All does not work for everyone.
Everybody.
So whatever you did, what worked for Marcus or Monica doesn't work for whatever Ty and Taisha. I mean, at the end of the day, like, you got to change your playbook. Your defensive game got to be on point because their offense has changed. The same thing that worked before ain't gonna work the second time around.
Absolutely.
Like, get a new game.
Black
too.
America says he does not, or she does not agree with the Jamaican dude. Let us know why. Come on up. I'm gonna drop the link. We're almost
Black America salty. We stay salty, Black America. We mad.
So I'm gonna drop the link one more time. We have a few more minutes here with Dr. Tasha. I know she has to go.
Yeah,
but I'm enjoying the conversation. I hope you guys are getting something out of it. Join us. I'm dropping the link for the final time. So if you want to come up and voice your opinion, Black America, or whoever else may want to share, again, you don't have to be on camera. You can turn off your camera. Just hit the link that I just shared, and it'll bring you right backstage. And you can come up before we make our final comments and draw our final conclusions. Dr. Tasha, you wanted to add? Go ahead.
Oh, I got another one. Okay, laziness. Okay. And we don't use this word more often. Would you marry you if you're lazy? You wouldn't. You wouldn't. Y'all both gonna be just in a filthy house. We just gonna look at each other, talking about who gonna do the dishes. That's what we gonna do. We gonna look at each other. No, you're always wanting for someone to be a little more OCD than you are, right? But would they even be attracted to your filthy self? So the question is, let's talk about laziness. Now, laziness can actually be cleanliness, like I was talking about just now, or laziness could even be romantically. Like, do you put forth 100% if you're only getting 50? Because that's going to be the difference of the relationship. Oh, I'm going to give to them what they give to me. That's what we're doing right now. Like, what is this? This a seesaw or this a relationship? You're going to just match what they're bringing. Sometimes I had a hard day at work, so you're going to have to give a little bit more than me today, sir. Yes. You can't match mine all the time. Okay, so not putting enough effort. The truth is about being a lazy lay. That's right. A lazy lay.
And Mary, I see you in the backstage. Don't hang up, Mary. Go ahead and make that point.
Just being a lazy lay. Don't nobody want that. Nobody. You on your back, just snoozing. If he could just finish. You know what I mean? Oh, it's good to me. Really? What we doing? Same for you, brother. If she could just go down. Okay, what you gonna do? What you doing? You don't snack? You don't snack at all? You just receive? That's what you do? You're a lazy lay. It's not a good look. The lovers that we want are the ones that are attentive and are about our pleasure. You know what I mean? Be a better lover. Make their needs a part of what you need them to get to. You know, or have to feel. So yeah, let's work on not being a lazy lay.
Oh boy, that's a whole nother show, Doc. But we got 3 people in the background. I wanted to bring them all up. This is gonna be the lightning round, 3 minutes each. We want you guys. Yes, let's go. Mary, how are you?
I'm good. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Hey.
Hi, ladies. How are you?
Good. Where are you calling from? Just curious.
Oh, I'm in Pittsburgh, California.
Oh, wow. PA. Oh, Pittsburgh, California.
Yeah, PA.
That's up there past the Bay.
Yes. So I didn't want to say Bay Area because I don't know if that's qualified.
Cool. So
Antioch, that's by Antioch and everything.
Correct.
Cool. So tell us your thoughts. What are you thinking about today's conversation? Hit that like button, y'all.
I think it's pretty neat. It made me kind of question myself because you've been hinting at it all week with the titles on YouTube. So do I think I would marry myself? Yes, I would marry me.
Hey.
I think I'm pretty neato. But the problem that I have is I did everything out of order. So I had children early, and then sometimes you have to put the children first. So with the children, I only have 2 by the same guy. But since I didn't marry the dad, because I was in the swamp, so a lot of times, just to flip it over, a lot of the ladies will go towards the street males. So that's where I was. I was all in the street shooting dice. So with that, I ended up with the children from that product. So then you look around, and do you want to marry one of these street fellows? So that was my thing. And then what does it take to marry a street fellow? To marry a street fellow, you kind of have to take care of these guys because there's no retirement in the streets. So
that's what they calling the Pookies and the Ray Rays.
Exactly.
The Pookies and the Ray Rays have entered the chat. Oh boy.
Exactly. So I had children with Pookie, and it was hard. So what I did was my daughter will be 32 in a couple of days. She doesn't date Pookie or Ray Ray or Craig them.
Woo.
But
Okay. I love that. That tells me that you ask your daughter to even self-reflect of would you do it like mommy, and you're open to hearing the feedback. That's a great mother. Could you imagine if our mothers were like, I want you to do it exactly like me, make sure you do it a little different. And then she was able to tell you the truth. What did she actually like? She like a brother with insurance, with a health insurance. What she like?
She likes guys that are the total opposite of her father. Because she said, now, I'm not dating those guys, not the way my dad macked on these ladies. So she didn't want to get macked on, excuse my language, she didn't want to get macked on by the males because she was the first child. So she saw how her dad ran through the ladies and how everyone wanted Craig's baby. You know what I mean? Because it comes with the temporary amenities. You know, she used to say, oh, those crack Christmases were lovely. You know, so she had lovely crack Christmases. But at the end,
that's real. Ooh, that's real. Ooh, wee. So the idea of it being nurtured within his friends, that womanizing behavior, you know, when you're with somebody that you say is from the street or got a thug life, like he's being actually nurtured from his homies about how to continue to go through the women like water, right? And so I love that we was able to see that.
Yeah, sorry to interrupt, Doc. We have 4 more people in the back, and
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, guys.
Final point. Sorry to rush you. I don't mean to, but
I
know
no, it's fine. This is roundup, so I'm glad I was able to join the show, and this is great. And with that, what I did raise was a constructive son. So I didn't raise my son like their father. He's way in college, music college. He's wonderful. So awesome. Hopefully life will change for me, and I wish you ladies well, and thank you for allowing me to be on the program.
All right. Thank you, Mary. Appreciate you. Much love out there in Cali. We're going to go on to the next person. Appreciate you. I'm going to add you now. Kid Nardak, I'm so excited to meet you. I was checking out your channel.
Smile. Come on, smile.
My artist friend. My artist friend with vibes. What's up? How are you?
Hey, what's going on? Nice to meet you.
Nice to see you. Thanks for joining the convo. Tell us your thoughts. First of all, where are you located, if you don't mind?
Oh, I'm in LA.
Also, well, my West Coast strong, bro.
Yeah,
I love it. And tell us about your channel real quick.
Oh, you mean my channel, you mean?
Yes.
Well, I'm an artist. So, and that's all across the board. Poetry, short films, but enough about me because I wanted to stay on the topic.
Sorry. You know? I was excited to see you. Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
Thank you. Because I appreciate what you guys are talking about. And you know what? I'm going to say in answer to the question, the answer is no.
Come on. See, the truth will set you free.
Because I'm still building my castle. You know, I'm still getting my life together and reevaluating what manhood actually is. And some of you fellas can probably relate to what I'm talking about because we seem to be doing that right now. You know, the pandemic kind of set that off. And growing up, you know, being raised by women, that's a whole nother conversation. But reevaluating what manhood is and what leadership is and what it means. Absolutely. And so before I can even entertain the idea of a marriage, which at this point, I don't even think I even believe in that as much as I used to. However, I'll say that once I built my castle and really, truly envelop the leadership qualities that are needed, then I'll entertain the idea of marriage. That's what I would say.
Such a deep insight. And I see you and I hear you and I feel you on that. I'd like to point out men have that little bit more of that luxury to say, I can wait, I can build, and I can figure out me. And I don't think men are ready. Many, in my opinion, are not ready until they figure that part out. How I'm going to sustain myself and make a living. How am I going to express myself fully to this world? And therefore, now I'm ready to add somebody to the world I've built. So I hear you. And I think that's a beautiful thing to be able to say, no, I'm not ready, because I'm still working on me and my self-expression, and again, business and how I express in all areas of my life. So I respect that.
Question for you. I love that. This is good. Okay, so do you share your age or do you not share your age? We got a lot of 30-somethings going on today.
Oh, I'm in my mid-40s, so I'm
okay, mid-40s. Thank you. Okay, so my question is, do you feel like you thought you would have married you like 10 or 20 years ago, and now you realize that you would not marry you? Did you used to think that you would?
You know what? At one point, maybe I did. It was a big idea in my mind before. I would say before social media, actually. You know, me being an older cat.
Yeah.
But then you recognize that there's certain things that are missing with you that need to be in place. Mainly stability. Now, if we're basing it off of emotional availability and spiritual awareness and quality time and all that stuff, that's in place. But there's, stability needs to be. There needs to be a foundation with that, and I think there's a lot of dudes out there that are kind of at that turning point. Some dudes have it all together, dudes like TLA, Anton Daniels. There's a lot of cats in this YouTube space that have it together. You know what I mean? And so you have to understand that there's a certain level that needs to be delivered before you entertain a relationship, and that's something that I had to look at myself.
To come to now.
So I had to admit that to myself. Some dudes don't admit this, but you have to look at yourself in the mirror and say, okay, where are you at, man? You don't have it all figured out. You need to figure it out right now. So yeah, that's the turning point.
This is my last question. Is there an urgency? Is there an urgency to want to get there by like 48, or want to get there by a certain, like by this time next year? Because like Suzette said, like you guys have that luxury to wait. But is there an urgency somewhere now that you've gotten to this place of insight in yourself?
Well, I'll say definitely before 50.
Okay. So you're giving yourself a few strong years.
You got a lot of admirers in the chat. They talk about, oh yes, salt and pepper. Oh yes.
Look at here. Look at here though. This dude just said that he is not in a place that he wants to be. And ladies are attracted. Do you see what's happening?
We're like, oh yes.
Maybe it's honesty. I don't know.
The brother is broke. He may not be broke at all. He's just not where he wants to be before he brings somebody in.
I was just saying.
Look what happened. These ladies are ready.
The chat was feeling it.
Lord have mercy. He came
let that man do his work.
Honest,
let that man do his work. Kid Nardak, it's been a pleasure. I'm just gonna let one more person come on. Thank you.
Thank you for having me on. Keep up the good work.
Awesome sauce. Thank you so much. I hope to see you up again. Okay, welcome anytime. Thank you. And we got one more. We're gonna have Dr. Tasha out on time. Thank you so much.
It's all right. We'll go to 2. I'm good.
Okay. The official urban therapist. Welcome. How are you?
Hello, ladies. How y'all doing?
Got a tuxedo on. Yes, sir.
Tuxedo on the picture. Let me get the picture bigger. Can I make the picture bigger?
Yeah, go ahead.
It gets smaller. Actually, the freeway is better. So how are you? Welcome. Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Texas.
Awesome.
Okay,
Texas. Okay. What do you think about today's conversation? What would you like to add with your therapist self?
Well, first of all, I have to put this disclaimer out there that I'm actually in school to be an inspired therapist, but I put in my title to let me know that that's my end goal. That's what I'm looking for. So I'm catching up with you, Dr. Tasha.
What do you think about today? Mm-hmm.
No problem, sir. I like that you want to get there.
Yes. That's pretty much. I've been in the chat throughout this whole conversation. I enjoyed the conversation and the topic. It was very informative. It was very inspiring. It reminds me when I was out there in the dating market. I had to ask myself the same question as well. Am I available? Well, would I be able to date myself personally? Mm-hmm. So I had to ask them different questions. So that's when I went through this journey of, discovering myself and discovering my expectations and my flaws and everything like that. Then when I discovered that, then that's when I put myself out there in the market. And so I'm in right now. I'm married. So
Now, would you stay married to you now that we are fully in your husbandry, right? You're fully in your husbandhood. Would you stay married to you in the way that you are as a husband?
Absolutely, because every single day I'm constantly evolving to better myself, not only just for myself, but for my family as well.
Okay. I love that. Evolving is a great word. That means you definitely are open to change. I love that.
I love the way Christopher Johnson's talking about where is Kevin Samuel.
Always looking for Kevin.
You know, I could
go ahead.
Well, when I was out there in the market, I could honestly relate to some of the men in the chat, because when you finally discover who you are and you get out there in the market and you start talking or even dating different type of women, you start to discover certain type of behavioral traits with the woman, and within that they'll make you become, you know, disencouraged, where like, oh man, is this it? Is this what I got to look forward to? But the one thing I could just say on that is that, you know, you just keep putting yourself out there and you keep on setting your standards and expectations, then that right woman will come into your space.
Awesome.
Did he say that right woman or that white woman?
The right woman. Right woman.
Okay, this plan, you know, I got to do a little something at the very end. I appreciate you.
I love it. Thank you, Official. We wish you so much success on your journey as you study and, you know, go after what you're going after. Thank you so much for coming up and letting us know that, you know, you were building, you understood the assignment, and once you felt ready and had worked on yourself, you were kind of placed with someone that worked for you. How long have you been married, may I ask?
We're getting ready to go on a year right now.
Awesome. Well, congratulations.
You fresh.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
I have to wrap up because I literally wanted her to give some final thoughts, but I want to thank you so much. The Official, y'all look at his, do you have a YouTube channel?
I do. It's called The Official Urban Therapist. I'm on YouTube and on Facebook as well.
There it is. Awesome. Well, thank you for coming up and sharing your thoughts. We appreciate you, and you're welcome back anytime.
Thank you so much.
See you soon. All right, guys, we are running out of time here. I'm here, Suzette Speaks, with Dr. Tasha. I want her to wrap up and give some final thoughts, but today's show really was about, you know, not only would you marry you, the public you, but would you marry the you that exists when no one else is watching? That's really the heart of the matter of this conversation. And there's so many people that are showing us that it's okay to say no. I know sometimes you want to say yes, and you want to be that perfect, like, I would, but don't lie to yourselves. I won't try to lie to myself. I'm trying to say with love, with respect, without judgment, that we must try to see ourselves from kind of like the external point of view. Sometimes it's hard to see your own self. It's so easy sometimes when you look at other people's problems and lies, it's easy to look at them and be like, God, Lee, I wish I could just see this part of themselves. But when we're in it, when we're the person, you know, at the focus, sometimes we miss the very so obvious, you know, behaviors and cues that we can see in other people. So take some time out, definitely, as I go to Dr. Tasha for her final thoughts. Take some time out to, you know, do some personality tests. Take some time out to spend time by yourself without being in a relationship. Take some time out for therapy. Take some time out to, you know, talk to people who know you well and maybe not so well, and ask them what their thoughts are of, you know, your relationship patterns. Because again, sometimes it's very difficult for you to see, you know, the pond that you're in, or the lake that you're in, or even the ocean that you're in. Sometimes we cannot identify as easily in ourselves what we can identify in others. So we want to make sure we recognize the real intent of this whole entire conversation, which was, again, when no one is watching, who are you? And would you be able to, or would you be ready to marry that person, or desire to marry that person? Dr. Tasha, I'm going to toss it to you for some final thoughts here.
I love that. And I can't believe we did it again. This was good. Like, so fast.
Yes.
How attractive are you to your actual true self? Okay. We're talking about, like she said earlier just now, when no one is watching. So that's true integrity, right? When no one's watching, how attracted are you to that girl or to that guy? Okay, so are you unforgiving? Like you don't do that well at all. Are you lazy? We've already discussed lazy lays are not what's hot. Okay. Selfish. Are you selfish? Like literally selfish. Like you think about yourself first before anybody else. That can't be your 100% self, not as a lover. Are you impulsive? Do you even think before you do? Okay, we already talked about thinking with the right head. You got to think with the right head. Are you impatient? I am. Hi, my name is Dr. Tasha and I'm impatient. You got to work on it. How much road rage do you have? You know what I mean? When only you are in that car, who you cussing out in your head? Are you scared because of what really has happened in your past? Deal with that. Own it. You know what? This right here makes me fearful. This right here brings up some triggers that I thought were gone. And then lastly, do I trust anybody? Can I find myself trusting others in the same way that I want them to trust me? If all of those things that you've answered are yes, I'm unforgiving, yes, I'm lazy, yes, I don't have self-control, then you wouldn't marry you. You're not a great person to be with. But you don't have to keep it right there as a turnoff. You can work on it. And then just even you being honest, like the callers today or the people that came on, just being honest about it actually then makes you more attractive. You see how crazy that is? Yes. Being in denial is the turnoff, but actually being honest with yourself of like, you know what, I really need to work on this. That's now attractive. Now whoever is liking you is now like, oh, it's just something about them.
Yes.
They're transparent. They're not ashamed. I definitely don't mind helping working this out with anybody that is kind of in between, kind of in this gray area of not really knowing who they are or that how they see themselves. Maybe I can help you. That's with drivebytherapy.org. Just go on to contact. If you are in a couple and you want to work on your communication, that could be, you could go on Amazon and get my book. It's called It Ain't the Dishes. It's only like, I think it's like $15.99. Go and get it. You guys can read it together. It Ain't the Dishes. You can figure out how to honestly communicate about the things that you did not talk about while you're dating. It happens all the time and it's okay. That's why I'm here. That's why I wrote it. I don't know. I just love this. This was a really great
fantastic as always. I love it. They asked me, Ebony, my darling, she's talking about how we always run out of time because she got 2 hours to give me and then she got to go do her stuff.
Okay, we got to be a wife down here. Okay, you got a family.
She's like, she got a family. She just told us the weekends is for the boo and the family. So we got all of that going on, and she still finds time to come on over. We appreciate you so much. drivebytherapy.org. Find out more about her if you are looking for services in that area. If you want to go to our live show, you know, our Will and Jada, your relationship goals, I think is you said the next show. It's live. It's fun. It's interactive. It's her and comedian Chris Priester. And we got a good time. We have a good time when we hang out. Dr. Tasha, it's always a pleasure, my darling. Thank you so much for dropping so many gems. And thank you again. I see another Cash App, another one from Ellie JJRN. Thank you. She was like, Sue, answer the questions. I'll do it in another stream, sis. I'll do it in another stream because I'm still working on me. I feel I'm getting readier. I do think I can't. We out of time. Unfortunately, I can't get to all the stuff I need to work on. But I'm real about mine. I really know that.
I would agree with that.
In my areas, I have work to do. I'm trying to get better at those things. So I want to be ready. Thank you, Grego, for the final super sticker. Thank you so much to my moderators, Gaston's World. I'm surprised he didn't come up. He loves to talk about this man and woman thing. And RM, I see you, girl. Thank you for holding me down. Thank you so much, everybody, for watching. Hit the like button. Finally, give it a final thumbs up. Thomas, LOL. Okay, bring her back. I understand. She says, thank you, Urban Lady, for watching. Always appreciative of all of you from all the platforms. Love y'all. We will see you guys soon. Thanks for watching. Hit that that thumbs up button, and I appreciate you guys. Have a beautiful rest of your weekend, and I have a great stream Sunday. Ooh, how to stop living check to check with none other than the Major Change Group. Y'all want the topics? I'm bringing them. Okay, I'm bringing them. You're welcome. So how to stop living check to check with my money expert. Thank you at Major Change Group. We're doing it tomorrow, Sunday at 1 Eastern, 12 Central. All right. Love y'all. Bye. Bye. Dr. Tasha's book has been dropped in the chat. And again, thank you so much, Ellie. Thank you so much for watching. All right. We really got to go. I love the long goodbyes. But Dr. Tasha, thank you again, darling. Have a good day. Thank you for being with us. Okay.
You too.